We back again for another conversation with the brothers, man. Today's conversation, we're gonna talk about independence of a woman. That how can it hurt a relationship and hurts a man pride. So let's get into it.
We back at it again, brother.
Yes, brother. Yes, brother.
You're very thought provoking, and I really appreciate that. As come to you, brother, ask questions like that. In our time that we sit down and keep it together. I would say that as far as independence goes, that we got to be careful how we use that. It's one thing to hold your own. It's one thing to feel like, hey, I don't need nobody for anything. I can do it all myself. But we can't declare. Well, we got to be careful. I would say again, when we declare independence regarding a certain situation, especially when we're dealing with life or we're dealing with nature, because one thing that I can say about nature is that it's based on polarities. You know what I mean? That it's based on two. You can't have one without the other. I mean, you can take the smallest particle, one of the smallest particles known to man, which is an atom. Even that consists of polarity, a positive and negative charge. You know what I'm saying? So you got magnetism. Then you have electrical charges. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Earth rotates at its own speed. Every 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 46 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Because of the magnetic or the magnetism and the relationship that the sun has with the Earth. So it takes two for everything. You got hot, cold. You got day. You got 12 hours a day. You got 12 hours a night. You got so many different things that just splits into two. You know what I'm saying? You got two chromosomes. You got an X chromosome. You got a Y chromosome.
Right.
Each one of those have a certain function. So we need each other. We definitely need each other. Check this out, bro.
Yeah, don't get your little
sip on. I got to say this. I just received a Facebook message, right?
Right.
And it's probably some type of parent. There is so much traffic that is being transmitted throughout the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We are electrical beings, and our hair is similar or synonymous with what antennas does when you're trying to receive and transmit information. So whether you have a Facebook message in the air, text messages are flying through the air, social media communication flying through the air, you see what I'm saying? Radio transmissions, as far as regular broadcasting, flying through the air. You got cable flying through the air, and we are consistently walking through these conversations. You see what I'm saying? As human beings, these things are flying in the air. Like, in order for me to get a message to my phone, it has to travel by way of air to get there. So with these antennas that we walking around on, I don't have any hair on my head, of course, but but I hope that you can get my point. But we are walking through so many different levels of communication just by me leaving my mom's house and walking back to the car. I'm sure I'm walking through somebody's conversation, right?
Right.
So what's happening is, as I walk through the conversation, I begin to project thoughts in my own head that I know that couldn't came from me. You see what I'm saying? That, man, what am I doing thinking about that? That shouldn't be on my mind. You know what I mean? So to say that is that it needs to be masculine and it needs to be feminine energies in order to bring balance to a household, because our children are also walking through different frequencies of conversations too, and projecting some type of thought. For example, the other day I was singing a song inside myself, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was in my head. You
Okay.
How song is in your head, not necessarily singing. But someone else came up and it was singing the same song. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, was that coincidence? Or did it just happen to be that somebody traveled through the same frequency of communication that I did?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to be careful what we consider to be coincidence, because everything is not a coincidence. But in order for us to bring a certain balance to a household, we have to get out of the independent frame of thinking. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's good. Hey, if a sister feel like, hey, I can hold my own, that's cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
But nature designed us to be dependent on one another. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Dependent on one another. That means to have each other's back, brother. You feel me?
Right. I feel you
what
on
I'm
that.
saying? So I'm just not, the sisters who say they're independent, I can respect that. But as far as,
I said they say they independent, they still not independent. Cause they still need a man to do something for them. Or anyone to do something for them. So if you got somebody doing something for you, you can't be independent. You see what I'm saying? Like some people like say I can do this on my own, but you still gonna need some help somewhere. Say if you got children and you say you independent, you need to do, you got to multitask. Sometimes you can't multitask because everything got to happen at the same time. So how can you be independent and doing all these type of things when you don't have no help? But you do need help. That's why you get in a relationship, so you can help provide for your household, help do this for your children, blase this and blase that. But you so-called independent. So how does that affect a household?
I don't know, just like I was alluding to earlier, that we are starting to project thoughts, or children are starting to project thoughts that they normally wouldn't. Our children are doing things at a faster pace than what we did when we were children.
You're right.
And like I said, it does go into so many different things of transmissions of communications that we are walking through, and our antennas are actually receiving that information, but it's coming in the form of a thought once it travels through us. It's really deep once you get into it. But if you really think about it, especially like at high altitude, where we are right now, we're at a higher altitude because we had to come all the way up the hill and get here.
Right.
So of course, there's a lot of communication, or a lot of traffic that you and I had to pass through in order to get up on this hill to come visit our mother. That's why you got to be careful and spend time with yourself. You know what I mean? In order to make sure that those thoughts are truly yours and divinity. Am I saying that right, brother?
I don't know, kind of tips.
Definitively yours, and not something that has been projected because you passed through a communication, a line of communication, so to speak. But we definitely do need each other. It comes if you look at it from a biblical perspective. I mean, even looking at the word Bible itself, the first two letters of the Bible is Bi, B-I. Bi means two, because it consists of two books. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It has the Tanakh, which is the Old Testament. It has the Injil, which is the New Testament. So even that by itself, you know what I'm saying? If you mix scriptures to the Bible, then you shouldn't feel independent, because that was not your purpose. You see what I'm saying? Your purpose was to be the helpmeet of the man. You see what I'm saying? Now that falls back on the man. Of course, if you ain't got anything to be helped with, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Because the woman's not designed to help you with nothing. She's designed to help you with something. But if you make some scriptures to the Bible, which a lot of the sisters in the South, they do. A lot of sisters all over in general do. But, particularly where we are, we know that that's to be the case. But it was a pair. You know what I'm saying? It was two. Came as a pair, brother.
I feel that.
You see what I'm saying? So you're going to take things in your own hand, and because society is giving you promotions nowadays, they're giving you degrees nowadays, now that gives you rulership, or that gives you a certain level of independence. Most women say they don't need a man but they pray to God with the belief that God is a man. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta be really careful. Things get a little tricky when you don't break things down within yourself. It's almost like eating steak without digesting it, or eating, food without digesting it. You know what I'm saying, brother? But it goes back to it's no matter what you dig deeper inside, eventually you'll find that society or nature itself is based on polarity. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't see it that way. You know what I mean? If you don't see the surface, if you just look at the surface of things without going into it, then you'll definitely be fooled by it. You know what I mean? Even one of the first atom on the periodic table is hydrogen. Hydrogen. Most people say, well, that's the number one thing on the periodic table. Am I correct?
Right. Right.
Hydrogen. But if you look at the word hydro means water. But if you look at the word gen means fire. So it's consistent of two elements, fire and water. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So even in one there is two. You know what I mean? So we got to be careful and realize that it has to be a balance to every situation.
Okay.
Word is life, brother.
All right. We're gonna conclude this conversation and to next week. And I got 2 other questions, but I'm gonna leave it for the next show. So holler back.